Hey, welcome back, guys. Today on the channel, we're taking a look at this classic metal riff by Judas Priest, and it's called Metal Gods. This is from 1980 all the way back to 80, and we're looking at the British Steel album. This is the same one that had Living After Midnight and Breaking the Law, and several classics that Judas Priest definitely, this was kind of like their breakthrough album in terms of popularity. And but there's some really heavy stuff on there too, like Rapid Fire. And but this riff here, now here's what I was thinking, you guys, is that on my channel very often what I'll do is pick riffs and solos that I like and that I think would benefit you guys and that haven't been overdone. For example, we probably don't need another video on how to play Paranoid by Black Sabbath or Iron Man. And then again, maybe we do. So my thinking is that I can't assume that you guys all know these old classic riffs just because they've been around for a long time, and many of us have kind of learned them, sort of. Over the years, there is I think, a necessity to keep putting stuff out there where the accuracy of these riffs is being put forth. And so that's a long-winded way just to say, this is a cool riff that I never learned properly. And if I haven't learned it properly and I make my living in music, chances are maybe you haven't learned it properly either. So we're going to take a look at the main riffs, and the surrounding riffs to this classic song, Metal Gods. It's a lot of fun to play, and I think you're going to find that it's challenging, but at the same time very easy to get under your fingers. So we'll take a look at that in just a second. If you are looking for the tab, or perhaps you're looking for a Guitar Pro of this particular lesson, I got a great news for you here. You can go over to my Patreon page and you will find the tab and the Guitar Pro for this lesson, and a ton of other stuff, which I'm adding to every day almost. So that's where you'll find that. And also, I'm including a backing track. So this is really cool for riffs, is to be able to play along to the bass and the drums. So like you saw in the demo, that's what I was doing for this backing track that I created myself. And I've making it available to you over at Patreon. So that's it. Let's get started. Now this is in the key of E in standard tuning, and it starts like this. Okay, so the part that most people get wrong is that instead of doing this, you do this. Something like that. Now, here's the what I'll say is, on the original recording, one guitar was doing that, and the other guitar was doing this. But if you listen to any sort of live situation with Judas Priest, they're both playing this part. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here, and that's why I'm saying this is the correct way to play it, because that's the way these guys play it today and have been playing it for quite some time. Even going back and listening to this on the Judas Priest Live, which was the Turbo era, when they play the Metal God song, you can clearly hear them both playing this just like this. So what we're going to do is hammer on. I'm barring across the 7th fret. Then I'm going to hammer on to the 9th fret on the D and G strings only. And then I'm picking up, down. So it's pick, down, hammer, up, down. And then down, up, down again. Then this. And that's 7 and 8 on the G and B, and then 7 and 7 on the G and B. And then back to this. That's the first ending. The second ending is the same, and the second time is the same, but the ending is slightly different. Hopefully you caught that. So if I put those two back together, put those two parts together, you get the whole riff. See if you can hear the difference between the first time through it and the second time through it. That's one. Okay, here's it again. Okay, and on the album it plays this part 3 times, so let's do it one more time. Okay, now we go to the bridge. So what's going on here is we're going to go starting with an E. This is on beat 4, going into beat 1. That's beat 1 there. Is an E power chord to an F sharp power chord. And notice I'm muting quite heavily here. And that's just holding that F sharp chord, but then hammering on from open E to the 2nd fret on the low E. So it's notice the rhythm of this and the muting. I don't want to skip over that stuff because we've been playing as long as I have. Sometimes it's easy to forget what it was like to learn these things and all the little details that go into it that make it sound correct. And things like muting and just the hammer onto the F sharp note there on the low E string. If you're looking at a tab and all you see is that, but then you see, well, he's holding a chord down and what's going on? It can get really confusing. So I just want to make sure I'm covering all the little details here and not assuming that you guys know all this stuff. And if you do, great, then it's easy for you. And if you don't, then hopefully you can learn this and internalize it and play this stuff correctly. All right. So again, starting on beat 4, this is the pre-chorus. Okay, so notice the timing of that. It just kind of jumps out there. And that's a B power chord, 2nd fret, A string, and then 4th fret on the D. So from the beginning of this. And this time we go to an E power chord. Back to the F sharp. B. There's a hard stop right there on that E power chord. Okay, and then it goes back to the verse. Pre-chorus. Right to the chorus. So we're going to play a G chord, then A to D. So it'd be like this. Notice those, there's no muting there at all. Very open ringing chords. Now I'm not doing this. I'm not playing like an acoustic shape. I'm just playing the 3rd fret on the low E. I'm muting the A string. I'm playing the D and the G open and the 3rd fret on the B string. No high E string. Then A power chord. That's just the open A string on the 2nd fret on the D. And then to the D chord, that's just the open D string, 2nd fret, G, 3rd fret, B. You'll hear an overdub guitar doing this. Just playing the single notes instead of G as a chord. You play the G of the note. You play the D here if you wanted, or not necessary to do that. Just an overdub, but that's kind of what's going on. So there you go. You got the main riff correctly. You've got the pre-chorus and the chorus all together. And that's it, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this classic riff. I haven't done a ton of Judas Priest on the channel. I've done some, but I plan on doing more, and also bands like, Iron Maiden and Saxon. They deserve more run. So I'll be getting some of these classic metal bands and doing a little bit more of that stuff, kind of to fill out some of the other stuff that I've been doing lately, like a lot of the Queensryches and things like that. A bunch of cool stuff coming. I've got a whole list of stuff that's coming up, and not just solos and riffs, but also some cool lessons on things like harmonic minor scale and just different ways you can practice and things like that. So stay tuned. Again, if you need the tab and the Guitar Pro for this and the backing track, head on over to Patreon. It's in the link below, and you'll find that. Also got a free gift for you guys. See that in the description too. 5 blistering licks to light up your fretboard. That's going to help you really get your fingers moving with some cool licks. Last thing is, people always ask me about my tone. And so someone said, would you tell us what your tone is when you do these videos? And I can tell you that I use different tones for different videos and different times. You see the Marshall in the back there. Sometimes I'll use that. Most often than not, I'll use one of the 2 Friedmans sitting right here beside me, or I'll use the Kemper, just because it sounds good, number one, but also it's very easy to hook up straight to my interface and get a great tone very simply. So that's what I'm doing today. And if you want to know what the sound is it's called The Hunter, which is a song by Dokken, and it's a patch, or I should say a profile of the sound of George Lynch was playing on that song on the record, and the profile is by a guy named Top Jimmy, and he makes some great stuff. And this is a profile for that. It's called The Hunter. It's really cool. And it's dry as a bone, but it still sounds great. There you go. There's the tone. So that's it, guys. I'll see you next time. Rock on.